Hi, it's me, JC, back with another Ceramic Hour live stream. We are pretty close to finishing these 4 cat trinket dishes. I know we've been working on them for a long time. And it's probably boring, I'm sorry. But I definitely don't want to start anything new today because we won't be streaming tomorrow or next week. Because my mom's visiting and I really don't know how much I'm going to be working on my ceramics while she's here. So I don't really want anything in progress. So, let's get started. Let me just get my sponge, kind of clean up some of these clay trimmings. And yeah, I think we're really close to finishing just all 4 of them. We've trimmed out the majority out of there. So let's see. Here we go. I think that's a good. Let me actually look up some of this stuff. Yeah. I think that's, I don't know, kind of work on the back maybe a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what we should chat about today. How are you guys doing? Got anything planned for the weekend or anything? It's sunny right now, but I don't know what the weekend is looking like. I haven't really checked the forecast or anything, but I think we're gonna go out and oh yeah, there's an open studio happening. I'm really excited to check it out. I've never been there, and I've never been to an open studio. It's kind of there are I think there are quite a few that happen here in Portland. So open studios is as far as I know, it's some kind of building type place that rents out units to people. And these are, I think, usually they're all artists or people that make things by hand. I think that's generally the people that rent there. I don't know if you could rent it for any other reason. But yeah, people with handmade businesses and stuff. So you'll have this building with a bunch of I mean, I don't know, depending on the building and how big it is. You could have a number of artists in there that come in to work every so often, and they're making art, and they will come together every once in a while and coordinate an open studio. So people from the public can just drop by during certain hours that it's happening, certain days that it's happening, and you can check out the space that these people make their work in, and you can also buy from them. They usually have work for sale while you're visiting, so it's oh, you can see their actual workspace, but you can also buy some of their work while you're there too. Which is pretty neat. So we're just gonna check it out. Just like some random one that I heard about. And I have no idea like what the other makers do there. I have no idea how many makers there are. Hopefully it's like a decent size like place with a bunch of makers. I'm anticipating maybe around 10 or maybe more or something. I don't know. But it should be kind of cool. Fun little shopping experience for my mom. My mom she lives in the middle of nowhere. Small city. Not even a city. And I do not think she's ever been to an open studio before. She really hasn't had like those kind of opportunities in the places that she's lived, for like art markets and stuff. Like those just don't really happen. So I think she'll think it's pretty cool. Probably won't buy anything. I don't know. I don't think she buys as much like art and handmade things as I do. I mean, she does, but maybe not as often as I do. I do buy a lot of art by people. And I do like seek out like markets and those things to visit or vend at. But yeah, I'm really excited to check that out. And definitely I want to check out more that I hear about around town because I'm pretty sure, I'm just assuming, but I'm sure there are a bunch of like places that do open studios. I just need to like hear about them, to check them out, but just kind of like looking into those and any markets. It's I heard that it can help you kind of get your work out there. I mean, I have no idea how much a studio is generally even. I mean, I would guess like per month, maybe. I really don't know. I really don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if a studio was like 100, 200 per month or something. So it's typically something that you would probably do once you kind of have some consistent sales, your business is growing and you need some more space, or some people really like to separate their home from their like work area. I think a lot of people like that do work from home, even just like generally, not as like a handmade business or art thing, but I think generally a lot of people have some issues with like separating the office space from their actual like home life. And like, I don't know, like maybe like you have kids or something and they keep coming and interrupting you while you're trying to focus, or like, I don't know, things happen. And people really like to separate those two spaces. I mean, I'm pretty okay with my stuff being in my apartment. I have a 1-bedroom apartment with this I have this like it's a relatively small like 4-person kitchen table that I do my ceramics on. I have my pottery wheel also here next to me. not gonna say it's not crowded in my apartment. It definitely is. But I mean, convenience is like through the roof. I don't have to go anywhere to work on my ceramics, and I do love the convenience. I really wouldn't want to have to go somewhere to do it. I mean, if I really, 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 really had to, it's fine. If I did this full time, that really would be so much less of an issue, because it's like, okay, gonna go to the studio, work, come home when I'm done. But just the random periods of time that I do this outside of my full-time job, super inconvenient. So although it kind of makes my apartment a little crowded, I really don't mind that much. I really do like how convenient it is. But I can't really do like certain things because I really just don't have enough space. So like stuff like slip casting, you know, using molds for, you know, easily recreating my works. Like we have these templates for, you know, doing these slab plates and stuff. We have these templates, which is definitely a lot easier than just hoping that the piece is around the same size and shape. But if I did slip molds, like that cuts out the time that it would take to shape a piece and trim it, which is a chunk of time. I mean, I wouldn't say it takes a long time. It's a chunk of time though. That could be like a lot faster and would, you know, I would be able to get more pieces done if I did that. I mean, I do want to see how well these sell first. Definitely before any point where I decide to make a slip mold. If that does happen, I want to see, you know, what sells good. So this is a good in-between thing right now, but it's just kind of, it's a thought, you know, like if I had more space, like this is what I could do. I would probably buy a lot of things I don't need though, so there's that. Like buying stuff to like color my clay, or like, I don't know. Things that I really don't need. I mean, definitely there's, yeah, probably gonna get to that at some point. I have one little bag of this like colorant that I want to try out. And like see how that goes. But I don't have that much space to be trying like a ton of crazy new things. I don't have the space. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, so excited. Tomorrow, the kiln will be unloaded and I can go pick up my glazed pieces. I am so glad. I was really worried that this was actually really quick firing. I was anticipating getting these back on like Sunday, hopefully. Like I was like really hoping. I wasn't sure, but I was hoping for Sunday. But we're gonna get it tomorrow. Because I really want to give my mom her like late Mother's Day gifts. And this will be like great too, because it'll give me a couple days, you know, that I can hopefully like, you know, just like grab some quick pictures of them before she flies back home. And hopefully we can get like a good like sunny day or something so I can get like grab a quick photo of them and show you guys like how they turned out. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to do like photos of those, and then we can do like we could do a kiln reveal once I'm back, so that will be June 10th. That's when I'm gonna be back. So you can plan for that if you want to catch that live. Yeah, so excited. I'm always like so excited but so nervous when I go pick up from the kiln. I've had some issues lately. You know, you guys know. The vases that like drip too far, and I still need to like attempt to grind the kiln cookie off of them. You know, just like those things. We've just had a few issues. So, hopefully everything will be okay and be good. It's so disappointing. It's so disappointing to like go pick up and then there like something happened and you're just like, oh shoot. But I think, you know, I don't know. I think people that do ceramics are like, you know, kind of a different breed. We kind of like have a lot of things that you can't count on. You know, just like some variables you don't know what's gonna happen, and it kind of like, I feel like people that do ceramics are so much more willing to you know, jump in and help like on forums and stuff when people say like, why is my glaze turning out like this? How do I don't know. How am I supposed to do like this kind of firing or something, or I don't know, whatever the thing is. People are always asking questions on like ceramic forums, and it's just so nice to see that people jump in, like multiple people will jump in and help try to give their advice, because they know how difficult it can be to have to deal with like, I don't know, like whatever went wrong, which could be a lot of things. And I don't know, I just feel like the people that are in the ceramics are just more like empathetic and like ready to help. And I think a lot of times, I mean, you do have like people that like want to keep secrets. Like, I don't know, like whatever, like their glazes are secrets or something. But like there are definitely a lot of people that don't care. They'll tell you, you know, they'll give you tips on how to get like certain effects or whatever. And I think that's just such, like, it's such a great community. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it has to do with this, I don't know, like how ceramics is, like how difficult it can be to do on your own without, you know, if you're not taking like classes or anything, you don't have like some teacher to go to. I think a lot of people like understand that, and there's a lot that it just comes up. You have no idea like why your glaze didn't turn out right. You know, you don't really have that in a lot of other areas. I think like digitally, there's a lot of workarounds that you can do if, you know, if you're not getting the result that you want. Like, you can probably do a workaround, or I don't know. I don't really know if people that do like paintings even like have those kinds of problems really. So I feel like it just kind of like shapes like a different kind of community, and it's so nice. It's so nice to be part of like a community where people are just like ready to like jump in and help you. You know, all these people that you don't even know, like the ceramic Reddit and stuff. It's not even like some kind of Facebook community or something. But just like completely random people that you're probably not going to ever interact with again, or I don't know. So nice. So nice. And if you've never been to the Reddit pages, there's both r/ceramics and r/pottery. I don't really know what the difference is between them. But it really seems like the same type of very helpful community on both. And people just kind of share their works, and ask questions. Lots of people give advice. Lots of questions. Lots and lots of questions. Yeah, like, I mean, to me, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. I want to like have I wish I could have like this like poll or something. Because like, to me, ceramics is like all encompassing, where like pottery is specific to most likely something thrown on the wheel. You know, it's a pot, it holds things, but ceramics like includes like jewelry, like earrings, necklaces. It's not a pot. It's like, it's not holding anything, you know? Or like, I mean, I don't know, it could be tiles and stuff. I think some people say pottery because it kind of has this like unwritten like rule or something that it's like referencing like the art type. Like, you're not talking about like tiles from Home Depot or like whatever like hardware store that are like mass manufactured. You're talking about like handmade by an artisan kind of thing. I don't know. I'm very curious like what people's thoughts are on like how they perceive like pottery versus ceramics. I feel like ceramics is good because it is like, it's touching on all the bases. You know, you're not leaving anyone out. You know, if they hand build things that are not really pots or something. I don't know. Sometimes I use the words interchangeably, and I don't think anybody has been able to figure out like what you should call somebody that does this. A lot of people will say potter, but then I've heard a lot of people say ceramicist, which kind of like, I feel like it easily like rolls off the tongue. I said that in my like college class, and my teacher's like, oh my gosh, I hate it when people say that. Like, he wasn't being mean, but like he said something like along those lines. And I was like, oh, I cannot remember like what he would say or anything. Like, is it, sometimes I'll just say like ceramic artist. I feel like that's a good go-to. Sometimes I'm kind of in the boat of like ceramist. I don't know. There's something about it that quite doesn't roll off the tongue as easily though. Let me just like, we're pretty much done with the back here. So I'm going to like apply some pressure to like make sure we smooth it out, and then I'll put my stamp in. I want the front to dry a teensy bit before we just start working on it. Yeah, but if you watch stuff like The Great Pottery Throwdown, it's been a while since I watched the British one, but there's a Canadian one, and they always say like Potter, and that's like what Seth Rogen says too. But he also said in like an interview that like he said he doesn't really know what the difference is between like ceramics and pottery or something. I think he just kind of said like maybe there's like a slight difference between like when you're talking about like commercial things that are ceramic, like toilets. Like, right? Toilets are ceramic. You can't get around it. Or like, I don't know, I think there's just like, you're kind of like insinuating when you say pottery that you're not referring to like mass manufactured stuff, but you're referring to like something that's handmade. I don't know. This is kind of like, I kind of feel like this is the like GIF thing, you know? Like, people are just gonna say whatever, and then there are gonna be people that are just like completely on one side, and then people that are like completely on another side, and nobody, I mean, people don't fight about it like the GIF thing. I mean, that's like fighting words, you know? But I think it's similar. I don't think anybody is ever going to come to a like resolution like, okay, this is the name of somebody that works in ceramic clay. Like, I don't know. And then there are also like official like organizations, like there's the Oregon Potters Association, and it's like interesting choice, you guys. Why did you choose the word potter instead of whatever? Ceramist, or ceramic artists? I don't know. I'm really curious. I think it might have to do with like a history thing. Because it's like, I think like, you know, I don't know. I mean, like the majority of what historical pieces are, you know, they're pots. But I mean, at the same time though, like we've had ceramic tiles for a long time too, haven't we? Like, I guess I don't really know. I wouldn't. No, I have no idea. I have no idea like where that date range like kind of starts, but you know, we have those like, we have like ancient like Greek mosaics and stuff. I'm pretty sure the mosaics are ceramic tiles. I don't think they're like anything else. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's ceramic. But like, I mean, those are really heckin' old. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely, I think, a thing where like pottery happens to be older. Not that we haven't been doing like tiles and other ceramic things for a long time either. It's really, you know, just not a new thing by any means. But I don't know. I'm not sure. But I wonder if that has anything to do with it, like, for things like that. Or maybe they just chose something. They really didn't think about it that hard, or I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm curious. I'm very curious. I don't want to say that I am against saying Potter, but I don't like that it's not like all inclusive. I don't really like that. But I mean, sometimes just for like, I don't know, when I just go off talking, sometimes I'll just say like pottery, or I'll say Potter instead. And I don't know, sometimes it's just the word that comes out. Let me know in the comments or chat or whatever, like, if you have any thoughts on this. I'm really curious, like, what other people like think. I do think when it comes to, like, if it comes to like Instagram and such, there's definitely, you know, a good kind of like difference to make there, because if you are tagging your work and you put in like, oh, like maybe you made some like nice tiles and they're ceramic, and that like that's the hashtag you use, like ceramic tiles, like it's going to be in there with all of these other like mass manufactured tiles, you know, probably. I'm just like assuming, you know, like some homemaker that just, you know, they're doing a fixer-upper or something, and they bought these tiles from the hardware store and they like installed them. Like it's going, like your handmade thing is going to like be in this like sea of all these things that are not handmade. Like it could just be like in the wrong place. Just from like, I don't know, like I could see a lot of tags for that. Like there's so many people that, you know, they're doing like home renovations and showing off like those kind of like DIYs, and I could definitely see that as like something to consider when you're using hashtags and stuff. It really could make a difference, because, you know, you want to be targeting the people that are, you know, interested in you as an artist, and not just be seen by people that are like redoing their house with like a tile backsplash, you know? So I think sometimes like in that case, it really does matter when you're choosing your words, right? I mean, like, I'm totally one of those people. Like sometimes I don't have time to look at like the results for all of my hashtags that I'm using, and I'll just put them in there and hope for the best. Like hope that it is, you know, what I'm thinking of at like what the other like posts are going to be like. But it is good to go and check on them once in a while. Maybe the ones that you think are like your go-to hashtags. It could be good to go check on them and see like, what are the other posts that show up here? Is this, you know, does it track with how I think of you know, whatever this topic is. I don't always have time to be doing that for every single post I do, but it can be good to, you know, sometimes when you have some time, go check it out, see what, you know, see what's showing up there, and, you know, I don't know, just, you really want to like target your audience. Even if people do go there, you want them to be seeing your stuff for the right reasons. So like, even if like home DIYs are like the trending thing right now, and lots of people go to that hashtag and look at the post there, like, even if that's the case, you know, like, you want to be reaching the right people. Because I don't know if like many people like think about it in this way, but like, just simply posting your work online, like on Instagram, like, it's a form of marketing, and you want to be reaching like the right audience, like your target audience and stuff. Even if it, you know, even though you're not doing some kind of like Instagram ad or anything, you still want to be, you know, putting your pictures and videos in the right places for like the right people. You know, I think I need to like thin out some of this dish actually. And then sometimes I feel like I've been leaving it kind of like flat, and I would really like to round out the rim also. So that's something I'm gonna be doing once we kind of like thin this out a little bit. Yeah, I'm I'm watching a lot of like videos about like marketing and stuff, and using Etsy ads. I really have not, like, I've never like delved very far into like kind of like best practices, or really watched many videos about, you know, how to run Etsy ads. I mean, it is very simple to do. Like, you just go there, turn it on, set a budget, choose some listings. Like, that part, like, yeah, it's really easy to do. But there are a lot of like things that I've never really been sure about, like how many listings are you supposed to, like, how many listings should you start off with per budget? Like, what's a normal amount? Or like, what would be like the recommended amount? As far as I know, I don't think Etsy has any like recommendations on like what you should do. A lot of their stuff is super vague. They barely even give you any help on like how they want you to like write listing titles and stuff. They barely, like, they don't give you examples for a lot of things. I think examples would be very helpful. But yeah, like, what is a decent budget? Like, if you are very small in terms of business, like, you're not raking in like thousands of dollars every day, or not every day, like, that would be wow. Wowie. I didn't mean a day, but like, if you're raking in like thousands like every month or whatever, or every year, like, you probably have a good chunk of money that you can just throw out there on ads. But the rest of us are probably a little bit more careful with our money. You know, like, we don't have these hundreds of dollars to spend on ads, you know, that kind of thing. So I've just been kind of like thinking about this, and I do know, like I mentioned this guy yesterday. I'm still kind of like reviewing his videos and just kind of seeing how I feel about the advice that he's giving before I like recommend it to you guys. I do like to recommend whatever like YouTubers and such that I think are very valuable and stuff. But I do know when it comes to things like really any YouTuber that talks about Etsy, I am a little bit skeptical and I want to be careful. Especially if I'm like recommending them to you guys. So I want to have a good feel for the people that I am recommending, and I want to make sure that they are, you know, they're making good quality content and it's not just some kind of like clickbaity thing. Because I mean, there are a lot of people that make a lot of Etsy videos, but some of them, I don't know. A lot of them I don't click into because they just seem too sketch. Like, I don't want to be given like all this bad information and then have my hopes like like really high and then like destroyed, you know? Some of them are like really crazy. Like they'll be like, look at how I made millions selling whatever on Etsy in 1 year or something. Like it'll be like some crazy thing. You're like, okay, sure. Like, you know, it like too good to be true. Gonna be skeptical. So I'm just kind of like listening in to some of the stuff this guy has to say. He has like a podcast too, where he like, it's the podcast, but they're recording the podcast with video and then that's posted to YouTube. Very good like business idea, because I think they can get like money from both the podcast and YouTube. Do people get money for podcasts? I think so, but I really don't know much about that. Anyway, I'm doing a lot of that and just trying to like run my own Etsy ads, see what happens. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere. I mean, I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, like if we're in like a recession or something. I'm not really like a business person, you know? I don't really know a lot of like those things or whatever the heck is happening with, I don't know. I don't know, whatever, the business things. I'm not one of those people, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, I kind of get the sense that a lot of people like don't have like a lot of money at this point. I do feel like groceries have gone up quite a bit. It just, like, I really don't watch the news or any of that kind of stuff. But I have seen videos on YouTube that have mentioned this, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like the groceries have gone up a lot. Whereas, like, wages have not gone up a lot, you know? Just kind of, like, dealing with how, like, minimum rate wage and, like, yearly salaries and stuff have not been going up alongside inflation, like that stuff. So I don't know, like, if I'm really gonna get any sales, because it's kind of like, it actually is like a pretty slow time of year. I think summer is more for, I mean, I'm not like a pro or anything at this kind of stuff, but I think summer is more of a like time that people go out and go shopping, not so much online. Whereas like online shopping is just, the time to do it is like fall, just like coming up into all of those like winter holidays, as you can imagine. I mean, yeah, like that's definitely when I am online shopping for people. And of course, like obviously birthdays are extremely random, you know? So you never know when you're gonna get like sales for those kinds of items or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea if somebody would buy like any of my work for like a birthday present. It's a bit pricey for just like a birthday, maybe. You know, just like your friend's birthday. I feel like it's kind of like maybe fine if it was like a partner or I don't know, maybe like a family member, maybe. But I think like just like for like general friends, I think it's like maybe a bit more than what you would spend for that though. Okay. I know I already went over the sides, but I just want to put some water on here and just get it all to the same like amount of moisture. So I've added water to the front and I still want to like add some water to the back too, so the back doesn't really, I don't know, dry any faster or something. I just kind of want to like be very like consistent. Oops. Okay. I just like, I keep like stabbing it with my fingernail and like digging holes into it after I like just smooth it out. Okay, here we go. Alright, it's kind of like a little pinhole over here. Let's see. I may also, like, sometimes when it is bone dry, sometimes I'll kind of go over a few areas and kind of like apply some pressure to smooth anything out. Particularly like fingerprints, or just, I don't know, maybe I was moving it around and it got bumped on accident and has a little indent, something like that. But yeah, if it's bone dry, you can still kind of, you know, make some small changes to it. If it was like a really big dent or something, like, that could be a bit harder to kind of smooth over, but anything that's like pretty surface level, you can do. Okay, perfect. I think this is looking good. And then, you guys might know this, but I will put, particularly my setup right now, I use these like wooden paint stir sticks. I am going to like put like a bunch down. Just like, this is gonna be like off screen. That's what I'm gonna show you real quick. So I put a bunch of these down and make sure there's like, kind kind of like some space between them. Put the piece on there. Actually, I usually do it upside down. You should always dry your pieces upside down when you can. And then I also will put more I have so many of these, but they're so cheap. I put more on top, again, making sure there's like some space there. And then to try and help it dry flat, sometimes they don't dry perfectly flat. I'm still kind of figuring out how I can do that. But this is what I do to do that. And then I will grab some random thing to add some weight. And then that should kind of like disperse some weight. This is actually a good thing on here because it's not too small, not too big. It should kind of like disperse the weight like fairly well for the size of this piece. So this is something that I will do to dry these little slab plates and try to get them to dry flat because they will warp as they're drying. A lot of things do. And where can I put this for now? Let me just like put this over here. And then in the kiln, things will also warp, if you didn't know that. Yeah, so well, we have like only a few more minutes left, but we can, we can spend some time on this little dish. This one's not bad. I think maybe I'll carve into the back a little bit more. It's a tiny bit thick for how thick the clay is. I think I can trim some of that weight out. It doesn't matter a ton, but it can be nice to trim the weight out of your pieces. People just kind of have like an unconscious or like subconscious or no. Okay, now I'm just like, I'm just confused. They just have this idea in their heads of like how much something should weigh before like you pick it up. Like even if you've never picked up this thing, like you're gonna have like this idea of how heavy it is. And I think there's kind of like a thing in ceramics where you really want things to be, I think most times as light as they can be, because it's very unsatisfying to pick up like a mug, a bowl, whatever it is, whatever that item is, to pick it up and it's heavier than you're expecting. I think there's just kind of something like, oh, I didn't know it's gonna be this heavy. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's not like a huge deal, but I think it is something to consider when you're working on trimming your pieces. I'm not super great at like, I'm still kind of trying to build my wheel throwing skills back up to like where they used to be. But the things I'm throwing right now, I'm just erring on the side of caution, throwing them maybe a bit thicker than like what I would like, and then just trimming that excess weight off because like I have so much more control over the trimming process than on the wheel. So that's what I would like suggest for like anyone that's kind of like a beginner or anything. I think it's just kind of like a nice touch when, when you pick up something, you're like, oh, that's actually pretty light. I didn't think it'd be that light. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of like a little thing. It's a very small thing. Or somebody will not notice whatsoever. But that's a good thing. It's like anything that you, consider in like design, like something is designed very well if you pay zero attention to it. right? Like, unless you're like a designer and that is something you do pay attention to. But to the everyday person, you know, like the everyday person isn't going to be like, oh, wow, that door handle was really nice. It was really well designed. Like, no normal person is going to think anything of it. But if there's anything wrong whatsoever about it, you're going to notice. You're going to be like, what the heck? Why would you do this? Why would you have designed it like this? You know, you really didn't put enough thought into making this, right? Like those doors that say like push and then it's like a pull or whatever. Like those things are like, the door looks like you're supposed to push it, but you're supposed to pull it, or I don't know, whatever the heck. I had this this one apartment that I was living in. To open this drawer, you had to open the door of the oven first. Like, why? Why did you do this? Like, someone just obviously didn't think about it enough, you know? But if you're able to open all of the drawers in your kitchen without an issue, congrats. Like, you probably didn't even think about it. You probably weren't like, gee whiz, I'm so glad I can open all of the drawers in my kitchen without having any issues. Right? You've probably never thought about that. Because why would you? Unless you came across a problem like that, right? So it's always the problem things that you notice, and you usually don't notice good design. I'd also like to just tell, like, I don't know. I hope you guys like my stories. But I had this other apartment where it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's like, why? Why would you do this? So there's an ensuite like bathroom. So it's like, you know, it's attached to the master bedroom. There's another bathroom you could use if you wanted to. But the ensuite bathroom, you could not close the bathroom door unless you lifted the toilet seat up. Why? Why? And then, like, I told the apartment, I was like, I don't know. I don't know anything about toilets and plumbing and whatever. Is it possible to get like a different size toilet seat that will still fit and I'll be able to close the bathroom door without having to lift the toilet seat up and then back down again? And they're like, nope. And I'm like, awesome. So cool. I don't know if they're lying to me. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm just like, why would you design the apartment like this? And I think probably they didn't think about it. If they did know about it, they were, I don't know, too cheap to make the bathroom slightly larger to move the toilet, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 inches away from the door. Like, we have some issues here. We have some issues. Yeah, so those are my examples of, like, very poor, very poor design. I think you also as somebody that makes functional objects. I mean, maybe not all of you guys do. Maybe you do like sculptures or, I don't know, things, like different things. But you do want to think about your design. Sometimes it is really important for when, a customer like buys it and then is trying to use it. I think I've seen, it's so funny. So it's a cup, and the rim of the cup has cat ears on it. So there's like a flat rim, but then there's like the cat ears, and like there's like this picture of somebody drinking out of the cup, and then at the same time he's getting stabbed in the eyes with the ears of the cup, like the ears that are on the cup. It's just like, maybe not all the time, but sometimes, like, you kind of need to, like, think about, like, the design that you're making, and, like, how somebody is going to use it. Like, oh, if I'm gonna, kind of go off, like, onto the, like, what is that saying? Like, on the beaten path? Or you're not on the beaten path. You're like, I don't know, I'm just blanking right now. But, like, if you're gonna be doing something that's, like, a little bit more out there than something you normally do, just kind of, like, go through the process of, like, how someone's gonna use it. I have definitely been there before. I made a mug where I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if it had this, like, not the, like, straight flat rim. I was like, wouldn't it be cool if it was like wobbly, and then like you can only drink out of it at this one specific area, because if you try to tip it and drink out of it anywhere else, it's going to like the water or whatever is going to like spill onto you. So, like, I've totally been there, and some of my stuff is, stupid. It didn't make sense. I didn't really fully think through the whole thing. I still have things like that. I literally just made a mug that I forgot the glaze that I used is not dinnerware safe, which means you shouldn't be banging cutlery on it, such as like spoons, forks, whatever. I made a mug with a glaze inside and outside that is not dinnerware safe. Every single morning, I drink coffee with like sugar and creamer and whatever, and I need to use the spoon to like stir it. But I shouldn't really be doing that, because I might be ruining the glaze. And I'm like, wow, I really didn't think through this. So I'm still doing that, literally today. So here's your like little reminder to like think through the things that you're like making. I mean, we all make mistakes and stuff, but, and it's not a huge deal. It's not even something that I'm going to like sell to customers because of other issues that happened with it. But, like, I think you'd hate to like make like a bunch of this one design and then you realize later that whatever, like these cat ears that you put on it like stab you while you're like drinking out of the cup, or like that's so funny. It's just, I don't know, maybe that's what you want to make on purpose. Maybe that's your thing because you think it's really funny. Like it reminds me of this like I think it's like a teacup set. It was made on purpose by this artist. It was like it's kind of, I don't know who the artist is, but it's like a teacup, but then she like glued like animal fur to it. Like the whole thing is just coated in like animal fur. So it's just kind of like, oh, like haha, look at this little like juxtaposition. You're supposed to drink out of this cup, but like, why would you want to drink out of it if it has like fur on it, whatever, like, whatever. That could totally be your thing. But like, you'd have to like make that obvious, like having like a series or like some kind of collection to like show that you're doing these on purpose, you know? But I do think some of those things are pretty funny. And that's totally okay if you know, maybe make those mistakes once in a while. I think we all do, especially when it's like a new design that we just like came up with or whatever. Like, you know, sometimes you just have to make it and see how it turns out. I'm kind of bad at like thinking through like ahead sometimes. It really depends, but sometimes I'm kind of bad at that. But yeah, well, this is our stream for today. I have to go, guys. But yeah, look at our little cat dish. This is like the first one that we finished. I'm gonna try finish the rest of these, maybe like tonight or something before my mom gets here, or whatever, or just try to get them done before they like dry out completely. For everybody watching, be sure to follow along here on Twitch, or all of these videos are uploaded to YouTube at calieandco. You can go check out my channel there. All of the live stream videos are uploaded to YouTube because they get deleted off Twitch after like a week. So if you want to check out more of my videos, yeah, go head over to the YouTube. Yeah, so, and then for anybody watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, like the video, maybe check out the Twitch if you want to join in on a live stream, and like, I don't know, if you have any ceramic questions or anything. I stream typically Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific time, if you want to catch me live. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. And then again, tomorrow, the stream is going to be canceled, and then it's also going to be canceled next week, the whole week, because my mom's going to be visiting. But then I will be back, June 10th, and I'll put it on vacation mode as soon as we're done here, so you guys know, because I'm really bad at doing like the other updates that I do. Anyway, yeah, well, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you have a great day, great weekend, and whatever. And I'll catch you guys later. All right, bye.